Hello, John Bloodworth, Gentleman Crafter here again with another quick video to share some tips on creating dynamic text. And what I mean by that is text that doesn't always flow horizontally left to right. I see in Facebook groups a number of questions about vertical text and various other things. So I thought I'd take a minute to just do a very quick video on a few ways that you can use text in a different style. Just before I continue with this demonstration, I'd like to remind you that over on Udemy.com I have a full cut, draw and scan with confidence course covering everything you need to know about the scan and cut, so please do check that out. So let's start by adding some text. There we go, there's the basic text. I'll just change it back to a standard Canvas Workspace font. So that's our basic text. Now, what if we wanted to create some vertical text? Well, there's one way. We could type birthday. And we could rotate it. Like that. Simple. But sometimes you want it to read so that the letters are the right way, but you want it vertical. Well, if I copy and paste that, it'll be easier than just typing another one, I think. And then if I go over to the Edit panel and click Divide, that will then separate the word into individual characters. Now, they're not editable after this, so you'll want to check your spelling, and you'll want to group any letters that are made up of multiple parts. Now what you would do is just move each individual piece under the other, like this. And you might say to yourself, well, they're all misaligned now and they look rubbish. So select them all with the selection box, and then under Align in the Edit tab, align them all on the center, or of course you could do left or right, whichever you prefer. And then in Distribute Objects, use Vertical Distribute Center. And that will give an even spacing between each of the characters. If you want a specific distance between each character, say for example 0.1 inch, type it in here and then press the Vertical Distribute Space button, and that will pull them closer together. Once you've done, group them with Ctrl G on your keyboard, or of course you can right click and choose Group, and then you have your vertical text. Nice. Okay. What about if we were wanting to weld it into a frame, for example? I've done a video on this before, but I thought I'd show you a different way. And if you have the stamp kit, then there are various framed stamps here. So I'm going to bring on this speech bubble. Now, so that I can tell that it's a frame, I'm going to give it a fill color. And we can now see that actually it does, because I can see through that shape to the grid in the background. Add your text as you normally would, so you can use the text tool to add it. I've just copied and pasted that first one I put in here. Choose the font that you want to use. If your text is already selected, click it again to enter the text editing mode. Or if it's not selected already, then double click it. Now, move it into the center, resize it so that parts of the word touch the outside frame, and then use the process overlap function weld, and that will weld it to the frame. It's nice enough. Now let's try something a little bit more complicated. Let's try I know, if you've got the embossing kit, you'll have line embossing patterns added to your library. So we could bring on this dove, resize it a bit, copy and paste it, move the copy off to one side, and then in the layers panel we are going to go and find all of the bits that make this up. And I want the text to follow the chest or breast of the dove. So I'm going to select that part, and that part, and delete them. Now I'm left with this part, but there's still too much there for the text to follow. So once it's selected, I can click again to enter the node editing mode, drag a selection box over all of the bits that I don't want, and I can shift and click to select more and press the delete key to get rid of them. I'll do the same up here to get rid of this head part. And now I'm left with just that line, which is fine. So I'll need some text. Bring that down. Change the font to a style you think will work with your design. And of course, again, change the word to whatever you feel is appropriate. Not peas, John. It's not peas. It's peace. Okay, so I've got that. Select both. Then in the Edit tab, click Fit to Path. That's right down the bottom. And that will then make the text follow the path. But as you can see here, it's not following it in the direction I want. So I'm going to go up here and use this context menu to change end to start. And that's now brought it on. And then with this blue plus thing, I'll move my cursor over it and drag it so that it follows that line better. Now, they're not very well spaced out to fit on this line. So I've got two options. I can either use the horizontal distribution option here to distribute them across the entire length of the path, or I can go back into the Properties tab on the right and go down to where it says Character Spacing and just increase it until I'm happy with how that looks. I might even move this so that it's actually sitting on the middle of the line so that the characters get spaced out a bit better. And then of course I can move it into position. And then group those so that I can resize the whole thing together. Or not resize it, sorry, move it together. So you've probably seen my other video of working in a spiral, so I will link that here as well. If you need any other advice about Canvas Workspace, please do consider enrolling on my course. It's very, very useful. But just before I go, the other thing that I've heard talk of is working with paragraphs of text. So let's take a look. Unfortunately, because the Enter key in Canvas Workspace just confirms the text, we don't have the option to use the Enter key to go onto a second line. So literally all we would do is copy and paste to get a second line of text, change that to what we want it to be, do it enough times to really give you what you want, and then when we've done, as we did with the vertical text, we select all of it, go over to the Edit tab, and use the alignment options and the distribute options to make it all perfect. So there you go. There's a few ideas of working with text that I hope will expand on what you know already, and maybe you'll even give it a try. Don't forget to come check out my Facebook group as well if you are wanting to get to know other users around the world. Okay, that's it for this one. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye. That's it for this time. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And for more from me in the future, please remember to subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching.